the immediate past president and members of the Bar Council of the Ghana Bar Association, members of the Ghana Bar Association, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. Let me welcome all of you, including our parish priest, the Reverend Canon Andrew Togbo, to Jubilee House, the seat of the nation's presidency. A few moments ago, I inducted into office 2 justices of the High Court. This is the 7th time since becoming President of the Republic on 7th January 2017 that I've had the opportunity to perform this very important function of swearing in justices of the High Court. The 2 justices, both women, whom I have just sworn into office, upon the advice of the Judicial Council, given in accordance with the provisions of Article 144, Clause 3 of the Constitution, are eminently fit and qualified for the position of justices of the High Court, and have the impartiality of mind and independence of spirit necessary to hold this high office. I refer to Mrs. Dorothy Ayodele Kingsley-Nyina and Mrs. Amma Sefenya Aite. I congratulate both of you on your well-deserved appointment. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 30 years of the Fourth Republic, the Ghanaian people have demonstrated their determination to build under God a nation of accountable governance founded on the rule of law and the separation of powers. One of the most critical arms of government towards the preservation of this is the judiciary. The Constitution of the Republic decrees that the judiciary has the final say in all matters of the breach of the law, civil and criminal, including matters relating to the interpretation and enforcement of the basic law of the land itself. The judiciary has onerous responsibilities to protect the fundamental human rights of citizens, to act as the arbiter in disputes between the state and the citizen, and the arbiter in disputes between citizens, to serve as the bulwark for the defense of the liberties and the rights of our people, and for the promotion of the orderly development of our nation. The High Court, as stipulated in Article 140 of the Constitution, has, quote, jurisdiction in all matters, and in particular in civil and criminal matters, and such original, appellate, and other jurisdiction as may be conferred on it by this Constitution or any other law, unquote. And also has, quote, jurisdiction to enforce the fundamental human rights and freedoms guaranteed by this Constitution, unquote. A superior court of record with original general jurisdiction as a tribunal of first instance. The High Court is the focal point for justice delivery in our judicial structure, as much of judicial work begins and ends there. It is therefore critical for the growth of our nation that the High Court commands the respect of the people by the quality of its decisions, as well as by the comportment of its judges. So to you, newly sworn in justices, I say that it is essential that you show you are honest, possess integrity, and a sound knowledge of the law. A corrupt or incompetent judge is a danger to the public interest and judicial administration. The situation where judges prefer judgments on the basis of decisions from lower courts and cite them as law is not acceptable, and even less so when judges cite no authority at all for their rulings and give orders without reasons. You must be learned, know your case law, and ensure your judgments and decisions are properly motivated. The principle of stare decisis, the ancient common law doctrine of precedent, has been and continues to be the time-honored foundation for the coherent development of the law and should not be lightly discarded. Until a few decades ago, it was understood that the common law judge was an independent arbiter who allowed the parties to dictate the pace of cases. That led to delays that have been addressed with extensive provisions for case management in Constitutional Instrument 47 of 2004, including the current reform initiative in Constitutional Instrument 87, in which examination in chief is given in the form of witness statements. Even more extensive is the requirement to present an accused person with all the evidence and exhibits of prosecution by the start of trial. Judges are well resourced with case management tools to be effective leaders of their courtrooms. I thus urge you to be sensitive to undue delays that project the image of Ghana as a destination where litigation takes too long. This affects the attractiveness of the country as an investment destination. Let me use this occasion to repeat that the dispensation of justice requires that application of the laws of the land must occur in the hallowed words of the judicial oath you have just taken, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. That is, without recourse to the political, religious, or ethnic affiliations of any persons before you. When a person falls foul of the law, that person, high or low, must be dealt with accordingly. And the law enforcement agencies, including you, our new judges, must ensure this is done. That is the true meaning of the concept of equality before the law. Indeed, to assist you on this path, government has, since my assumption of office, introduced a number of policy measures to help bridge the technology gap in the administration of justice. We know that harnessing the power of technology to advance the rule of law is critical in this modern era if we are to maintain the confidence of the Ghanaian people and shore up our nation's reputation as a country governed by the rule of law. That is why, in 2021, I launched the e-justice system, which is designed to leverage technology in the delivery of justice. I encourage both of you to take full advantage of the e-justice system in order to expedite the conduct of cases that come before you and enhance the management of cases before the court. Judges are advised to be interested in technological innovations that assist with better delivery of justice and efficient management of cases before them. The transparent and efficient delivery of justice builds confidence in citizens, businesses, and the investor community. You must also understand the societal implications of your decisions. In a technologically advancing world, you must consider how your judgments impact privacy, data security, and other social concerns. As much as possible, you must study and incorporate international best practices in both legal and judicial procedures, especially as our jurisdiction is attracting considerable amounts of global investments. Ladies and gentlemen, government has tackled to a very large extent the problem of inadequate numbers of courts in various parts of the country, resulting in citizens traveling long distances to gain access to courts. Through the Ministry of Local Government and the District Assembly Common Fund, government has constructed 120 courts with accompanying accommodation for judges across the country to help address the problem of inadequate court infrastructure. 6 new regional high courts have been constructed in the new regions, Ahafo, Bono East, Northeast, Uti, Savannah, and Western North. You will recall that in April 2021, I cut the sword for commencement of work on a new modern Court of Appeal complex in Kumasi, together with 20 townhouses and a guest house to serve as permanent residence for Court of Appeal judges based in Kumasi, who are mandated to handle appeals from the northern part of the country. The complex has since been completed, and I had the honor of commissioning it in the presence of the Asantehene, Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II. In addition, 210 vehicles were earlier in 2022 distributed to all judges in the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, High Court, and lower courts. These are all initiatives being undertaken by government to strengthen the capacity of the judiciary. Government will continue to implement policies to advance the rule of law and thereby help entrench respect for the administration of justice. All of us, from the executive, legislature, judiciary, public sector, security services, private sector, political parties, civil society, professional and trade associations, religious bodies, traditional authorities, and ordinary citizens have a collective responsibility to work together with our different views and our different perspectives for the Ghana project, a united Ghana driven by considerations of social justice and solidarity, and governed according to the rule of law, respect for individual liberties, human rights, and the principles of democratic accountability. Newly appointed justices of the High Court, I wish both of you well and Godspeed in the discharge of your high functions. May God bless the new High Court judges and us all, and may God bless our homeland.